Mike, as you can imagine, we're getting new information every minute here in the newsroom in Washington, D.C., but here's what we know currently. A local news station is currently reporting that 8 people have been injured, 1 has died, and 4 of those injured have been injured critically. We have the Associated Press, meantime, reporting that 14 have been injured, so there's a discrepancy there, but that should get cleared up at any moment, as Fort Hood officials are expected to have a press conference in the next half hour or so. The U.S. military confirms that 1 shooter is down and appears to be the only shooter, so it looks like the 1 fatality we have could be the shooter, him or herself. Meantime, the U.S. Justice Department telling us that there are reports that the shooter died of a self-inflicted wound. Fort Hood, though, so far has not reported anything but the confirmation that there are injuries and there is 1 person down. They have said that reports of the shooter being dead have so far been unconfirmed. We've also checked the 1st Cavalry Division's Facebook page, which issued a shelter-in-place order to all the members of the 1st Cavalry Division, which are housed at the Fort Hood Army Post. I want to give you a listen to what that order sounded like going out over the airwaves as recorded by someone who lives nearby and played on a local television station.
Seek shelter immediately. Doors and windows. Shut off heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
The local television station says that the event occurred about 4:30 this afternoon, that it happened at 72nd and Support Avenue and building 33026. That's a medical support center. It's not far from the 1st Cavalry Division headquarters, and it's also not far from the Army Medical Hospital where the injured in this case were taken. And I want to remind you, of course, as you mentioned, Mike, in 2009, Darnell Medical Center is also where the injured were taken from the shooting in another building on another part of the base, fatally wounding and killing 13 U.S. soldiers back in 2009. Major Nidal Hassan shot those 13, wounded 30 in what was the deadliest attack on a domestic U.S. military installation in U.S. history. Hassan has now been convicted and sentenced to death, and a lot of military security has been tightened ever since. Security personnel, for example, get long-barreled weapons, insider attack scenario in their training, and they've joined an FBI intelligence sharing program. But as you saw, those images, very, very touch and go, very, very scary for those who serve in the U.S. military and for their families. These images are being played out once again on Fort Hood military base. And we do know that the U.S. President has been informed, also that U.S. Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel has been informed, and he is expected to brief reporters any minute as well. Mike?